Hello, Hallie with Handmade by Hallie here. Welcome back. Here's my next video. For this project, we're going to need a pair of canvas shoes. You can find them all over the place. These are from Walmart. I'm going to need some fabric of my choice. I chose this rose color and this black with white dots. I'm going to need this Worth of the Best diamond rhinestone applicator, some tape, scissors, and a black marker. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to need to do is make a pattern of all of the different portions on this shoe. We're going to use the tape, the scissors, and the marker. Let's show you how to get this part done. So I'm going to pull the tape into small sections, and we're going to start at the back. We're going to use my fingernail and the marker to mark the section that I want to cut and mark which shoe it goes to. Then we're going to do the side, do the same thing, and mark where we want to have it cut. Peel that all off together, do the other side. And this really isn't too hard of a process. It just takes a little while to figure out how you want to get the tape on there. Make sure you're covering all the area for that particular piece and marking it. You do want your pieces to come right up next to each other, sometimes with a little overlap on one and not on the other. And make sure to mark whether it goes on the inside or the outside, so when you cut it and take it off the fabric, you'll know where the piece goes back to. So now that we've got those smaller ones done, we're going to do the main piece and just go slow, pressing all the pieces of tape together, overlapping so they'll stick together, and then marking with the pen where you need to. And then I do put an extra couple pieces over the top to make sure all those smaller pieces stick together. And then we're ready to pull this one off. Now we're going to start with our black with the white dots. Put our pieces and press them firmly. Cut a piece of fabric off and then cut those out as exact as you can, making clear, clean cuts. But leave it on there till you're ready. That way you don't lose track of what pieces go where. And then we're going to do the same with the pink fabric. Now I did iron all this fabric before I started, just to make sure I don't have any folded pieces. And you do have to pay attention to where your patterns are. You saw I pulled off one of the pieces. There's a little bit of a pattern on this fabric, but not a lot. I just wanted to make sure the pattern was going the right direction. Again, cutting it out as exactly as you can. Throwing away your excess pieces. Now this one is a little bit harder to get to lay flat because it was on a curved surface. So you will get a couple places where you'll get some folds, and that's okay. Just smooth those down as much you can. And then when you pull it off, be careful. And then go back and even up any edges that fray, rounding off any small little edges. Nothing on here is really pointed. Then we're going to take our Mod Podge that's matte, and I'm going to put a couple squirts of water to water it down just a little bit. And I have a sponge applicator, and I made a mess of my Mod Podge. So I'm going to, again, start at the back, and I'm going to start with these kind of half round or quarter round pieces. put the Mod Podge underneath, put the fabric down, and put Mod Podge over the top. I'm going to do both of those, and then do the other one that goes straight up and down. And these ones do overlap. The third one goes over the top of the others a little bit, but that's okay. That's actually what you want. And as you see, as I pull the tape off, sometimes it likes to fray the edges. So you just make sure to clean up any of those frayed edges, getting your pieces in place. And because it's fabric, it is pretty easy to get it to mold the way you want it to with lots of Mod Podge. And this does give, with all the extra Mod Podge underneath and on top, does give a nice finished look. Kind of almost a hard, hardened Mod Podge. And it looks quite nice when it's finished. I'm really liking the color combo that I've chosen. The roses have varying pinks, a little bit of green leaves, a little bit of yellow, but some black accents, and that's why I went with the black on the back. So we're going pink and black with this particular shoe. And you can do these in all color combos that you want. So we get our Mod Podge, and this one, just make sure your fabric is straight up and down, pulled evenly on the sides, and you'll see I do adjust it a little bit. Start with getting around the edges down where they need to be, and then everything else kinds of falls in place. And as you cover the fabric with the Mod Podge, it's easier to stretch and mold to the shape of the shoe. And you want to make sure you get down all those edges, cut off anything that's hanging off, and then I go back and use all of my Mod Podge I have on my little tray and cover everything really good, especially the pieces that curve up around the top of the shoes. And then we're going to let this dry overnight before we move on to the next step. So this is totally optional, and you do what you want. And I have these Hot Fix Rhinestone Applicator Kit that I got off of Amazon. And I'm using black and pink. I'm using the tweezers to pick up the color of my choice, and I'm just alternating them. And then I take the hot applicator tip and hold it in place, and I put my finger underneath to give it a firm hold, and hold it for 10 or 15 seconds. And what that does is that activates the glue that's underneath the rhinestone. And once that's fixed on there, it's pretty well fixed on there. And the nice thing about it is if I lose any of the rhinestones, I can go back in there and put more rhinestones on. Because I can reorder rhinestones at any point that I need to. So I just keep going, alternating the colors between the black and the pink. And I just do the top of the shoe. And then I'm going to switch camera positions, and I'm going to do the back of the shoe here in just a minute. And while I like a little bit of bling, I don't like too much bling. And so this was just perfect. These are personally for me. You can do this on any canvas shoe. So here we are. I have to hold the shoe with my belly. So I've got the camera altered so you can see that. So same thing, alternating colors straight down that tall kind of side seam. and then we have it dazzled. This is optional. I wanted to cover my seams, and a marker really just did the job. Back here where the pink and black meet, you can't even really see it. This part, I decided if I'm going to do it, I'm just going to go for it. So I just traced that shape of that last piece, and I could have done all of this in rhinestones, but I decided not to. And this part's okay. It's not my favorite, but I did it. There we go. We have 2 shoes. They're all ready to be worn. Sparkle just a little bit, but something fun. Have fun with this project. I hope this inspires you to try something new. Thanks for joining me, and wouldn't you mind doing all of those things, the liking, the subscribing, and sharing my videos. I sure would appreciate it. Okay, I think we've got it done. So here are my shoes in a finished photo. Thank you. We'll see you again soon.